Running, we're back for Saturday action in Spain. Ahead of the Barcelona Catalunya Grand Prix, our second European round sees us return to a track known as an all-rounder. Gone are the barriers of Monaco. Hello to the gravel and runoff here at the Circuit de Catalunya. It's round 7 and this is a track steeped in history and one all drivers know inside out. Just over 4.6 kilometers, 2.8 miles in length, 14 turns, medium to high-speed corners, the overtake detection point just before that final corner, and a remarkable elevation change. It was hot yesterday, and that continues into today, having an effect on the tyres as well. Pirelli going one step softer than last year with the C2 hard, the C3 medium, and the C4 soft. The heat, so much a factor, could actually have an impact on qualifying later on this afternoon. But before that, we have one final practice session. Welcome to Free Practice 3. It's Harry Benjamin with you up in commentary. Alongside me once again is Karun Chandok. Last chance then, Karun, for our drivers to get properly dialed in before we go qualifying. Yeah, really important session. The track temperature has been rising throughout the weekend, and today already just walking on the paddock, you can feel it. So today it's going to be all about trying to make sure you can keep the rear tyres alive for the final sector of the lap. It does seem like this has become a real limited track for this weekend. In the past, there were lots of concern about the front left tyre, and but this weekend, with these extreme temperatures, just speaking to engineers in the paddock, it looks like it's all about protecting the rears for Sector 3. Well, we could see it yesterday a bit in Free Practice 2 with Kimi Antonelli on the Mercedes. His front left, literal marbles and rubber breaking off that tyre, such as the degradation impact. Teams up and down the field struggling with that. Could end up being almost like a one-shot qualifying that we might get later on this afternoon. So with all that in mind then, Karun, with the final practice, what are the drivers going to try and get out of this session? So this is all about getting prepared for qualifying. It's incredibly important here to qualify well. Statistically, it's more important to qualify well here than it is in Monte Carlo, despite the fact that, as you said, we got a big wide open track with grass and gravel and not barriers close by. But 32 out of the last 35 winners here have come from the front row of the grid. That's 91% roughly. So, yeah, statistically, as I say, more important than any other track on the F1 calendar. Yeah, only 3 have not been won from the front row. So that just underlines that excellent stat, Karun. Max Verstappen with all the fans in the grandstand, and of course, I think mainly for the Spaniards out there, though, Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso, each with their own grandstands, feeling the home support. We have been talking a lot about the heat. We actually can't really feel it in the commentary box because we have air conditioning, but I'm pretty sure Ted Kravitz can feel it out in the pit lane. Ted?
Hello, Harry. Hello, Karun. Hello, everybody. Yes, welcome to the pit lane. Sunny in Spain. Who would have thought it, eh? But yeah, listen, you can't feel the heat through television, so take our word for it. But nothing strange, nothing unusual. So I'm here with my friends from the Pit Lane Patrol. And I don't know what you think, Karun, as someone who frequents the pit lane now and again. I'd quite like that on my tabard, actually. Pit Lane Patrol. Can I get Pit Lane Patrol written on my tabard? I do like that, because I will be patrolling the pit lane, not only today, not only in qualifying, but in the race, because I might be quite a busy person. I think we said towards the race so far in 2026 with the most pit stops, possibly 3 for each car. And yes, you've been talking about it so far, but the story of the weekend has been so far, OMG, what are we going to do about these tyres? And how are we going to get these tyres under control? And that's the question that all of these teams have been thinking about overnight. They've been sent the message from the track yesterday to the factory, OMG, what are we going to do about these tyres? Not only how are we going to keep them alive over one lap, but more to the point, how are we going to keep them alive over a race stint distance, whether that's a 2-stop pushing to a 3. They don't really want to do a 3. You do lose a lot of time. But then if you're forced into a 2-stop, then it's all going to be about managing the tyres against somebody potentially on a more aggressive strategy. So these cars have been set up overnight to look after their tyres like there is no tomorrow. But of course, Harry, there is a tomorrow. It's called the Bar will win. And it might not. This car has shown that it does. It is kind on its tyre.
Lando Norris, who topped one of the sessions for McLaren season.
It's quite funny, isn't it? We're into and all that sort of stuff. We're back to talking about tyres.
There, and we've got the whole trifecta. I mean, talk of McLaren as well. They get a penalty replacing key permissible power unit on both cars. So some issues over the course of this season. Mercedes supplying them to this weekend further.
See, I'd be surprised to see lots of these people. Unsurprisingly, to me, Cadillac have gone on their first ever Grand Prix here.
Why we say so much about all the drivers the teams known down test right at the start of the year, which not all the teams made. Bottas being one of them, who we can see in the day yesterday, was almost a second clear of his team. Had the competitive on the soft tyre, but Bottas
dragging on the ground a little bit more, wasn't it? Bottas's car, you see, dragging along the ground a bit more than.
7 drivers scheduled to take part in FP1 in terms of Hadjar was the one who missed that, and then we also had Kimi Antonelli back for a weekend.
I think on previous years, probably not a lot. I think going on with the cars, every week that the drivers get in the car, there's lots changing every time you get right before qualifying. I think it does have in recent form has been ahead of George. He's been ahead. Harder for him to deliver a lap time, and
I've second adrift of Lando Norris's quickest time at the end of FP. The Mercedes of George Russell, who is in need of a good weekend. And over at Haas looks like he's about to get there. An actually decent run as well yesterday. Responsible for 18 of Haas's points.
But yeah, it was 5 drivers, wasn't it? With pace 11 to 15. So
to his garage, and to Monaco seemed like the tipping point. Moving this, we're using Brembo calipers as the surround, and there for Alpine, getting his podium and third.
Very good engineer, Josh. Very practical, very pragmatic. This is where people sometimes forget because they're bringing the podium back. But the race engineers who work patient on a Sunday night and back up, and I was very for the team around Pierre as well.
Too much action out on track so far. Just the two. The car not responding, and Bailey gets out on track with just Perez. Sun is really beating down the umbrella to the pit lane, and the sun is really out grandstands. Can't imagine what it's like in the cockpit.
Cars driving around because you get breeze blowing through it. When you even for a little front wing change, you get that heat. So battery below you, there's just so much heat. Ed, I can see you out of our window in the sun. I can.
Well, worry not, because little information about a chassis change that had to stay late and break the curfew. They just saw some discrepancies in the data and then replaced the individual components. So that's why good for him. I have a what's happened.
Trophy, Ted.
It's still not here. And so they the trophy in it, going from Stansted or Luton to its own seat, because they didn't want to pick it today. That's the update from today, Karun. Where's the trophy? It's ours.
Yeah.
It's not here yet.
I would have up to Milton Keynes, picked it up, gone to the airport, gotten a trophy away, are they? But
well, they should. No, they're working on the big handover. Maybe we can do some kind of handover.
Maybe.
We'll make a big song.
We're talking about this because, and it turns out there was an error in the first. So Isaac Hadjar
might not be the last we hear of it either, as we understand Red Bull and they still are within the 90.